All right, you all. So welcome. It's your girl, Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that. And I am super duper excited to have Lizzie B in the building with us. And of course, you already know what we're talking about. Menopause.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
okay, look, we're thriving in life. And though I've had surgical menopause at the age of 30, you will never see me with this phase and looking down and depressed. I might be pouring down sweating, right? And you won't even see the drips on my back. But whatever the case may be, we are changing the narrative of menopause, and especially for the communities of women of color, right? If you all are listening to
Yes.
this, we're saying stand up, speak up, and you don't have to be in silence because we're here to serve and support you. Whether you're 30 or younger, or if you're 45, 50 and older, you have a support system. And so I am the number one Black face of women in menopause. And you all make sure you take out your phones, mark your calendar, September 16th through the 17th. MenoCon will be happening right here in St. Mary's, Georgia. Don't worry, I didn't know where it was either years ago when we first moved here, but we're right at the Georgia-Florida line, and we're going to have the ultimate menopause and women's wellness conference right here. So you don't want to miss that. Stay tuned. You want to get bit.ly/menocon, MENOCON. So when those tickets drop and different things, you're in the building. You don't want to miss it. Like literally, if you think I have energy now, you just wait till we're in person and the amazing speakers and lineup and things that we have. You don't want to miss it. So Lizzie B, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
You are so welcome. I'm excited about this because I think a lot of times when people think of women of color, they think of just African American women. I'm like, oh, no. We have our Hispanic sisters and everyone in that same mix. And it may be the same, I don't want to say struggles per se, but I'm going to say struggles in your culture as well. Just finding women to say, hey, I'm open, I'm healed, I want to share my experience. And you all, let me put this disclaimer out there right now. Nothing we're saying is giving you a medical diagnosis. Nothing that we're saying. We're here to encourage, educate, and empower you. Always seek medical professional help
Right.
for your own mental journey and wellness needs. So Lizzie, just tell everyone, introduce yourself, let people know what you're doing in the world.
Well, I'm in San Francisco, California. Was put into menopause because of a surgical hysterectomy a couple years ago. But I'm older than you, 50. I just turned 53. And I'm a former journalist. I've worked in TV news and lifestyle content for years and years and years. And finally got out of television a couple years ago and went on this menopause journey of sorts, and then had the hysterectomy and decided I needed to create content since I am a content creator at heart and a storyteller at heart. I needed to create the stuff and the stories and the information that I wasn't getting because, like I told you, I love to research. I love Google. I love my laptop. And I could not find the information that I was craving that I needed, whether it was anything about menopause or the hysterectomy or, fun stuff like makeup and beauty
Yes.
and skincare. I couldn't find it for the women in my age group or in my demographic. So I said, I need to create it. So that's what I've been doing this past year, is creating content on my Instagram handle, on my feed, and
Wow.
sharing some of my journey. Yeah.
That is simply amazing. And that's what it's really all about. I'm all about saying, look, I don't wait tables, I create tables. Meaning, if you don't see it, then you know what? Get that nudge, put in the work, do the research, and just create what you don't see, right? So, a lot of times when we Google, we don't see ourselves. That's just the real honest truth. We don't see ourselves represented within the menopause industry or community. And I've reached out to brands and everything, and I'm like, so who are your products for? Right? I understand
Right.
everyone has a marketing strategy and they may know
Right.
their audience, but who are your products for? Especially with all the diversity and inclusion and different things that's been going on. And I'm just like, well, I don't see me. Or I get the phase of, well, you're too young to be in menopause anyway. And I'm just like, no, I'm not. I was thrown in it at the age of 30. So no, I wish it was another option that was presented to me, or I would have had another choice, but I didn't. So this is why I refuse to be silent. I refuse to look all sad all the time, just because I'm in menopause. Like, we can still thrive. So congratulations on even your journey of saying, you know what? Let me create the content. Let me create the tables for women that's going to resonate with me. Right?
Right.
It's nothing like it. And I love what you said, beauty and skincare, because menopause can affect women's self-esteem.
Yeah. It affects a lot. It affects a lot. I mean, I know it did for me. I know it does for a lot of women. Not for everyone. I can't just go and say everybody's going to feel this. Like you said before, it's everybody's got their own personal and unique journey. But I am surprised. I mean, I'm somebody, because I have, dark skin, so I've moisturized because I don't like ashy skin. I mean, since I came out of the womb, my parents were lubing me up with Jergens lotion from head to toe. So I've always been, always moisturized. And one of my side effects that happens to a lot of women with the lack of estrogen is you just dry out. Mm-hmm. And I've never been so itchy in my entire life than I am these days. And I will get on these itching fits, and I'm just scratching and scratching, and I'm piling on more moisturizer, and then I'm scratching and scratching. It's just like your skin becomes just parched.
And that's an aspect that a lot of people don't talk about a lot of times, where women can develop adult acne, thinning hair, and all of these things. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad I don't.
Check.
This is like check box.
Exactly.
So for me, I've experienced the vaginal dryness. I've experienced hot flashes, and I'm just like, O-M to the G. Like, what is going on here? Like, I feel like I'm radiating on fire from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. Like, I just want to strip. Like Nelly said it best. It's getting hot in here. I want to take off all my clothes.
I do feel bad. I do feel bad for my husband, because now he knows better. But when they first were coming on in the middle of the night, I'm one of those people in menopause who gets hot flashes, but I'm always cold. Like, I'm always got slippers on or a beanie, or I'm always cold. And so I used to go to bed just like you thought I was going to the Antarctica. I was bundled up. I had my electric blanket on, and then all of a sudden the hot flashes hit, and I'd be in bed, and I would just start disrobing, naked as a jaybird. I was just disrobing. And my husband, initially, he was like, oh, somebody wants a little sexy time, apparently. And, and I'd get the hand that would come near me. And when you're having a hot flash and somebody goes to touch you, it feels like a furnace on top of you or getting near you. Yeah. And I'm like, don't even think it is sexy time, because I will kill you right now.
Like, it's not.
You are radiating heat. I am radiating heat, and I'm angry right now.
Right. I know. And that's why I say the men, they have a story to tell too, right? Like, one day we have to do a male's edition of it. And I'm sure they have a whole story where they could write a book themselves of probably the mood swings, and just like, you know what, let me just get out of her way. I don't really know what's going on. But I think the more we can experience it together and explore what options we have, and everybody is aware, right? The children are aware, because I can tell, look, my children, before I really start paying attention to my mood, they was like, yeah, you would just be like, all right, guys, you want to go, get a Slurpee, you want to do this? And then it would be like, raw. And they said, we'd be like, okay. So they told me I was a monster, but they was like, you go from this to raw like a monster. And I'm like, really? Yeah. Until I started really tracking and trending some of the things. Okay, what was I doing? What was on my mind? Did I eat something that I probably maybe shouldn't have had? What was the trigger for me to have these mood swings and stuff that I really didn't notice? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I was a little snappy, huh? So I had to apologize to them, because it's not their fault that I was thrown into menopause either. And I don't want to take my frustration out that I didn't even know I was that frustrated out on you all. So let's just have a meeting. Let's talk about this whole menopause thing. So then we're all on the same page. You all know, drop the thermostat. Let me have me some water. Like, don't try to turn the thermostat back up. And then when you see me having a moment, just give me a little more love, right?
Yes, yes. I think that has been really, really, really huge with my husband and my two daughters is I just had to really tell them, look, the rage, the mood swings, being super emotional. I mean, I can cry at a commercial. I'm at a 10. I
Lizzie, I
find myself at a
cried.
10.
Lizzie, I cried when Spider-Man went away in the movie, right? And they was looking at me like, my husband was like, "Are you crying?" I said, "That is just so sad. Spider-Man, he's a baby," and they're looking at me like,
Yeah,
I can laugh at it now, but
I know.
I was like, wow. And I'm not even a crier for movies, so I was just like, once it was over, I was like, why was I crying over Spider-Man?
Yeah. I find myself, I'm way more emotional than I've ever been. So I really did. I had to tell my husband, I had to tell my girls, I said, look, I said, give me some grace, be kind, be patient, super emotional. I have a lot of brain fog. I may be irrational, kind of throw up the white flag and be like, Mom, you're having a moment, or what do you need? How can we help?
Reel me back in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. My oldest daughter, she's almost 17. She was really, really sweet because she now knows how to read the room. And so she'll come and talk to me after, I've decompressed and I'm approachable. And she'll say, "Hey, Mom, can I share something with you?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I go, "What do you want to talk about?" And she's like, "I want to talk about you." I'm like, "Uh-oh." Okay.
Am I in trouble?
And I know, I'm like, "What did I do?" And she just said, "Mom, you set the mood of the house. Like, that's your role in the house.
That's good.
When you wake up, when you're making dinner," she's like, "We feed off of your energy. And so is there any way you can kind of give us a little signal?"
Smoke signal.
Yeah, exactly.
A good day.
And I said, "Okay." I go, and she's like, I just want you to know that you dictate a lot of the energy and the mood in the house. And so when you're spiraling or you're having the moment, how can we help you? What can we do? Yeah, which was huge. I'm like, "Well, don't make fun of me. Don't tease me." All those things, because you're so emotional.
And you don't even know when those emotions are going to come up and occur. Right. I've had some moments like that, and my kids, just my whole family, just so loving, right? But it was me having us having a conversation where I'm not trying to hide what's going on with me, or like, I don't want to see me cry, or I don't want to see, so let me just, be silent and just deal with it in the bathroom, deal with it in my own room. And then I come out and I'm better. And instead of me hiding that, no. Unfortunately, you all probably saw, like, when I was irritated and I'm taking stuff and I'm like cleaning up really hard and stuff. And I'm just like, why am I doing this? Or when I would have a moment and I could be standing at the counter and then I'm just like, okay, and they're like, "Oh, Mommy, don't cry. What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know." My husband's like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, I can't explain it. But that's support. And that's the definition of support. When people can just meet us where we are for that moment, right? Because they're all moments. It's not even something that I don't feel the same way every single day, right? Or 20 times out the day. And if I am, how am I going to help me, right? And especially for the women like myself as well, who are still working full time and different things. So many women at the workplaces and different things, they just, look, let me just come in, work, let me be quiet. I don't want any attention drawn to me. People are afraid to take breaks. People are afraid to speak up. People are afraid to call out. So many other aspects on top of what you're already going through that, it can be a lot, but they say women do hard things. I mean, to the women out there who pushed out 8-pounders and 9-pounders, hard things, right? I had 5 and 4-pounders and I still had to get stitches.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, if they would have been anything bigger, I don't know. We probably had to reconstruct all of everything, okay? But Lizzie, what are some things, because you talk about skincare and different things, and that's amazing. I mean, that's the largest organ on our body. And a lot of times, most women don't even have like a skincare regimen, because like 53, you look amazing. Your skin
Oh,
is
thank
gorgeous.
you.
Like, a lot of people think, you know, you hear people, I don't wear makeup because of ABC. I love makeup. Like,
So do
I love a good brow. I just love makeup. So, and I don't have to wear it every day, but when I want to wear it, I want to put it on. But
Right.
to that woman who may be saying, because like we said earlier, menopause and just transitions, right? Even if we
Well,
think
I found with makeup, because working in television, I always had to wear a lot of makeup and do my own makeup, and I enjoy it. I love it. It's one of those. It's
it's a
for me.
happy
It's
thing.
treating myself. It makes, yeah. You put me in a Sephora, and I'm like, you know, I love it. I found there was I got the perimenopause or menopause acne. I had just like my skin went haywire on me,
Wow.
as far as, texture, oily, dry. It didn't know which way was up or down. And I was like, what is happening with my
So let me
skin?
ask you this. Did you experiment? Because this is the thing, like we're touching on so many aspects where
Right.
menopause can become like financially expensive as well.
Right.
Like, yes, ladies,
Right.
we invest in ourselves, but when your body's doing something that's new to you, did you go through a plethora of products, or did you just like, was it trial and error, or what was that like for you?
I think, like I said, I'm a big moisturizer. So for me, I'll mess around in the drugstores and the CVS and the Walgreens, because there's so many great products that you can,
Right.
or Target, that you can get, I think, at much lower cost, that are just as powerful and potent as good as these luxury brands.
Yeah.
They might not have the packaging or the aroma. So I did a lot of experimentation there. And then I
Okay.
was like, okay, if I kind of get what's working and what's not, then if I want to go spend the money on some luxury items, then I'll do that. So
Right.
yeah, if I opened up my bathroom cabinet drawers right now, God knows what you'll find. My husband's like, you really need this one too? I'm like, well, that one's different. That one's more on the,
It's
on the
good how we
full
have an
moon in the seventh
explanation, right?
month.
We have an explanation for all of the products. There's a
Exactly.
story behind this.
But there was a good stretch. There was a good stretch where nothing seemed to work.
Wow.
Like my hormones, my skin, it was just bananas.
Wow.
Even the dermatologist was like, it's hormone related. I'm sorry. Just like stay the course. It's going to work itself out. And I would get cystic acne and nothing would take them away.
Wow.
And then I'd overdry my skin. And then like, it just was not a good situation. It is since, thank God it has, evened out, but it's drier than I'm accustomed to. So
Wow.
having to find the skincare and the regime that works and the makeup, I've had to make adjustments on how I do my makeup, what products I'm using.
Oh, wow.
For sure.
See, a lot of times we don't talk about that aspect of it, where if your skin's changing because your hormones and all these things are changing, what used to work, it's like with working out, right? We can't work out the same way that we have, because I've talked to women and they're like, oh yes, I was running 7 miles a day. And I said, well, God bless you, because I'm not doing that. I'm not running 7 miles. Okay. Not. I have not been called or blessed to do that. That's what I say. That's not my ministry to run 7 miles.
I'm going to use that. I have not been called to run.
I have not been, that's not part of my purpose, right? But strength training and different things. I think some of the things that I wish I would have had at the beginning of just knowing that some of the lifestyle changes and things that we can do prior to get into some of these transitions, such as menopause. Now with surgical, I mean, it was the hysterectomy, and then it's like, bam, all right, you're there, right?
Right.
So I love that you were talking about the skincare, because a lot of women, they don't have a regimen, things that we can start now, even though we don't have control over, okay, my skin going to get dry. Some of these symptoms, we don't know they're happening until they come.
Right. And I'm like, don't overpluck your eyebrows, ladies. Don't overpluck, because the thinning hair that you get on your head makes its way down to your eyebrows and to your eyelashes. And like, there's all these little things, where I'm like, why didn't anybody tell me I shouldn't tease my hair when I style my hair so much, and then take a brush and just be like, and have all this hair come out with it. Like, I am so kind to my hair now. Like, I'm just feel so grateful, whatever hair I have. I'm just like gentle.
I feel like too much manipulation today. I'm not going anywhere. I think this but it's those things that people think are small that can make the big changes. To our well-being and our lifestyle, and just making sure that we're still remaining true to ourselves, right? That we're still remaining, because a lot of women are like, I don't feel like myself in different things. So even after your surgery, what options did they give you for, because I know for myself, HRT was the only option presented to me, but it wasn't presented in a good way, right? And the doctor, I wanted to tell her, you're talking to someone who was recovering from being anorexic. So as soon as you said weight gain, I checked out. Like those check boxes you're talking about, I was like, weight gain. I didn't care what you were saying about cancer, possibly, or nothing like that. You said weight gain. I could have just ran out the office, and I was like, oh, well, I know I'm not getting that. And I didn't. Or anything, but to someone out there, a lot of women don't know that there are options. So for yourself, have you received any type of treatment, or is that something that you're looking into?
I do hormone replacement therapy, and I seem to think that if I didn't have it right now, I'd be scared of myself. Because I think of all the stuff that I deal with now, and I've been on it. I can't honestly imagine what it must be like without it. So I don't see myself not using it anytime soon. So I use the transdermal patch is what and I have to change that twice a week. But that in itself is a challenge. I'm like, because of the brain fog. So I'm like, did I change it yesterday, or was that Sunday? Or am I do it Wednesday? And here's the big determinant. I usually can feel like a pimple coming on my chin, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to change my patch. That's usually the telltale sign, like I'm off schedule, because with everything going on, everyone's like, put a reminder in your calendar, put it on your nightstand, put it by your toothbrush. I still manage to forget which 2 days of the week I'm supposed to change that patch.
And it happens. And you are, once again, this is not that we're sharing what is working for us. And this gives you an opportunity to go to your primary care, your GYN, or whoever that medical professional you're seeing, to say, hey, is this an option for me? Right? Is this something we can research?
Right. I think the other thing when it comes to menopause is, I just tell other women, I'm like, you do you. I'm going to do me, but you do you, right? Like, what works for me isn't going to work for you. It may or it may not, but I had close family when I told them I was doing HRT, and I got some pushback, and I was like, are you done? Are you done?
Is your rant over? Because I'm still going to matter of fact, thank you for the reminder. I need to change my like your whole conversation. And that, I think that is the thing too. We don't have to judge each other. Whatever treatment plan works best for us. All of our bodies are different. Yes, we have same organs and all these things, but everyone's body operates different. And so it's just saying, hey, here's the resource. Here's the option. Let me go so I can inform my doctor and have a very informed dialogue and conversation. Because when we go there, we're only telling them what's going on. But how can we have a great conversation if you're not paying attention of what's going on with your own body? No one can tell you how you're feeling at this moment right now, or how you felt a month ago before I had this appointment.
Right.
So I love that. Pushback, everyone, are you done yet? Talk to me, especially talk to me when you get there, right? Talk to me when you get there. What we're saying is, here's some information that you can do some research on. Here's some support. Here's a community where you have women coming out more and more. And I'm excited to see it. More women are just like, hey, we're shouting out about the pause. And I'm like, yes.
And the other thing, Carlika, that women don't like, I like to talk about the things that nobody likes to talk about. Mental health. That's a big one. I've gone on and off antidepressants. Now, that wasn't something I expected depression to come on. But that hit like a ton of bricks, you
Wow.
know? And people are like, well, why would you go on antidepressant? Blah, 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 blah. Again, my new go-to line, thanks to Carly, will be like, are you done yet?
Are you done yet?
Yeah, exactly. But that was
Wow.
a big one, you know, and having to, my whole thing is, once I can start processing things, I try to convey that to my husband and to my daughters, to like, because the more they know, they can support me. My
Yeah.
girls are going to go through it one day when they're older, and I don't want them to be like, well, why did mom tell me, or she never mentioned, what was mom's menopause like? I want to be able to be like,
Yeah.
no, remember when, you know, mom couldn't get out of bed and whatever it was.
I think that is just so important. Once again, just having that support, because if everyone can know the signs, then we're able to assist. We're able to give that moral support. We're able to say, okay, maybe we're going to cook today. We're going to clean today, or we're going to do these things. Mom, you just relax, or whatever that may look like. And no different, you know, if our children are not feeling well or our spouses are not feeling well, we cater, we just, what their need. What do you need? What is it that you want to make you comfortable? And I think that is so important. And you're right, Lizzie. I know my mom and grandmother and different ones, I ain't never heard no menopausal conversation.
Right.
So I do think having that advantage of us not hiding it, so that they're aware, because like you said, your daughters, my daughter, they'll eventually get there, and it won't be like,
yeah. I just told this story to I'm a firm believer that as women, I think it's really important that we have friendships and girlfriends at all different phases of life, younger, older, same age. I think there's just so much to learn, excuse me, and take away from each other.
Yes.
And I was out on a walk recently with my younger crew of gals doing a walk, and I was complaining about something about menopause, and they were like, really? That's what happens? Really? Oh my gosh. And I go, girls, and let me tell you about moisturizing, the importance of moisturizing. And I'm not just talking about your face, ladies. And they looked at me. They're like, what do you mean? I'm all, I go, you got to moisturize down there too. And they were like, oh gosh, I don't want to know anymore. Just stop.
Right. But to just be able to have the conversations, like at least you know you heard it from somewhere, right? You won't be like most of us doing all of the research ourselves and trying to find. I wish I had women like you when I was thrown into menopause.
My girlfriend called me up and she's like, how do I moisturize? Am I moisturizing like topically, like what does it look like? Does Lancome make a moisturizer for my kitty? Like, how does this whole thing work? Why do I need it? What should I do? I mean, yeah, there's like so much that women aren't sharing with each other.
We
need to share and help, enlighten.
Right. And it is going to enlighten someone else to say, okay, I remember when Lizzie B said this. And if you don't get anything from this conversation with us today, moisturize. You understand? And not just here, but here.
Exactly.
But it's important. Well, Lizzie, please let everyone know how they can get connected with you, because this has just been amazing. But let our listeners know, hey, how can they connect?
Well, you can find me over on Instagram. Lizzie B TV is my handle. Leave a comment, send me a DM. I comment to absolutely everyone. Sometimes even the bots that leave comments, I'm just like, because I believe social media is a two-way street. You know, it doesn't help if you go and leave a comment and then somebody ignores it or I ignore it. So please, you can find me at Lizzie B TV. I'm working on a podcast, but that's still a few months out. But I would love to see new faces and support.
Congratulations. That is amazing. You all, she has some amazing content over there. Look, her story, she's the stamp browse that's going on.
Oh, yes. Because I don't have thinning hair is a side effect of menopause. And you start losing your brow thickness and your eyelash thickness. So yeah, I'm always playing around with some cool, fun new.
I love it. So make sure you all connect with Lizzie B. Like she said, her Instagram is Lizzie B TV. She always has amazing content. It's not always serious. It's funny. It's just her personality, her family, different things like that. And of course, menopause, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
look, that's what we're talking about, and we're not being quiet about it because we're not ashamed, right? It's a part of our life. It's a part of a transition that we have entered into, and we're going to keep speaking up about it. So you all look, this is the first time, but we'll be collaborating. You'll see more. Look, I just love your energy, and we have just had a blast. And this is what I feel like menopause should be. We take this serious, but we make it a comfortable, normal conversation that we're not like, hold on, what did you say? Menopause, don't say that.
Yeah.
Right.
And like you said, we can do hard things. Like we can't give up just because it feels difficult right now or at this stage of life. There's like, no. We've got so much ahead of us. That's great.
We do, like, we're just really starting, right? I feel like I'm 42 and I feel like I'm just starting. I'm just starting life. This is a whole nother chapter, whole nother phase. And
that's right.
We're sexy. We're hot women, like literally hot women. Okay.
Like, well, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, like we're hot women and we're having the hottest topic around, which is menopause. So Lizzie, thank you for your yes. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And you all look. You all have an amazing day, but remember, when you change your perspective, you change your life. Make sure you mark your calendar September 16th through 17th, St. Mary's, Georgia, for MenoCon. You want to be in the building with all these amazing women, a great time to network and everything. So we're going to sip, we're going to shop, and we're going to talk about menopause and women's wellness. So till the next time, I am your host, Carlika Katrina Basnight-Menendez. Yes, all of that. And we